all of these things we acquired just a few weeks ago at the Oxford Fine Press Fair. So they're all artist books, and they're all acquired with the help of the Friends of the Bodleian. So if you're not a member of the Friends of the Bodleian and you feel inclined, this is some of the sort of stuff that the money is spent on. So we bought more than this, but I just got a few things out to show you. And one thing I always say is that artist books are, because they're contemporary and often very beautiful and technically accomplished, we show them to a lot of students, and they really galvanise students, several of whom have gone on to do research projects on them. But that's enough. This is, you have to get a little closer. Come on, don't be afraid of them. So this is the first one that I chose, and it's by the Solomentes Press, and all of this is handmade paper, handmade images. I think these are lithographs, done in 2020. And a lot of these books, I went round the fair. I was actually helping to judge this year, which was fantastic. And a lot of the artists had done their lockdown books. A lot of these are lockdown books. And this one is Lewis Carroll's Jabberwocky, very strange, and all done back to front. But the artist, David Esslemont, has helpfully provided in the kit a little mirror. There you are, Henrique.
Yeah.
And the idea, of course, is that you just hold it up and you can read the text. So it's a bit of fun, and of course, Lewis Carroll, Oxford figure. We have lots and lots of things to do with him and his book. So that made sense. This one, this is my favourite probably, and it's done by a New York artist called Nancy Loeber, and it's an unfinished short story by a kind of Jewish bohemian writer called Jane Bowles. And it's a story called Andrew, and it's a story of, it's a kind of story of misfits and outcasts and people trying to find love, and centres on two soldiers who forge a friendship. And she, I just think, is wonderful. So these are all woodcuts. And she uses something called the reduction method. So it's the same woodcut that's used several times over for the same print, and each time it's cut down more and more for each different colour. So it kind of vanishes. And to me, that technique almost reflects the ephemeral nature of the story itself, which is unfinished, and the characters in it.
When was it done?
She hasn't finished the run, so she's still completing the edition. So it's so contemporary, it's actually essentially unfinished. This is finished. But what I love about these sorts of things is you often get more than you expect. And so here are two marionettes who in fact are the soldiers in the story. And when I saw her at the book fair, she told me that she's still crocheting these for the rest of the edition. And we love acquiring things in the Bodleian that will never fulfill their promise. So sparklers, which feature in the story, and our conservation department did actually check these to make sure that they're not going to spontaneously combust. So,
how many copies are there in the run?
So, you see, librarians, you get all these tricky questions. 25 numbered copies. each copy accompanied by 12 sparklers and 2 plaster and linen hand puppets, New York 2022. This is copy 12, 12 of 25. So there aren't many of these, and yeah, so rare as hen's teeth, really. This one is really a very explicit lockdown book by one of the best book artists at work in America, called Gaylord Schanilec. He lives in Wisconsin, and he has woodland and other land, and he uses a lot of nature to put into his books. Uses some of his own wood for woodcuts. And this is a beautiful, beautiful thing, American Crow, printed on really, really almost like tracing paper. Again, 2021, report from quarantine. And he's playing with the idea of COVID. And I won't go through the whole thing, but the quality of the letterpress, I mean, all hand printed, and the use of colour is exquisite. And then you've got this, this is life-size wood cut, so 1 block of wood to print this crow. And actually, one of our MSc students of a few years back saw some of his work and that of another book artist called Russell Marrett, and went off to do a PhD based on their work. So that is super cool, lovely. If I say so myself. This one is grittier and done by a press called the Salvage press, operating out of Ireland. We kind of try to spread, we collect from all places, not just the UK, America, Brazil. We've been building up our collection of Japanese printed books recently. So we like that idea of a kind of diversity of voices and approaches and geographical locations. So this one's out of Ireland, and it's essentially a kind of homage to the city. And there's an original poem and these incredible photographs. Done in a really interesting way, the way he's folded the images across the various sheets. So you get a brilliant book artist, you get a fantastic photographer, and you get an original poem, all in this book, and quite a complicated description of what it is, but 50 copies, copies lettered A to Z are special ones, bound in a full alum tawed goat, binding, so on and so forth. And this is copy Y. So one of the more special ones, that's vellum. It's really beautiful. And then this one, I had a bit of a row with my Rare Books colleagues about this. They do their job brilliantly. They were horrified to see me at the book fair because they thought I was just going to sabotage all of their best laid plans. In fact, we had our own list of what we really liked, and I have to say they did coincide. Apart from this, which I did need to persuade them a bit, because the focus really for our Rare Books folk is textual. It's got to have plenty of text. This has some text, so I actually won the argument. It has a poem by Ruth Fainlight, wonderful poet. So there's the text, signed by her. And then these absolutely amazing mezzotints by Judith Rothchild, portraits of shells, keys, people, and yeah, it's just, and then you use the box to frame it. And the mezzotints are of superb quality, and of course we've got lots of examples of mezzotints, and we've got copper plates. So we've got William Blake's copper plates, and so it made sense to me. So just a few of the things. I think we bought probably about 15 items in total bill about 15k from the friends. And it just goes to show you that actually your money can go a long way with this kind of material and inspire research and interest and enthusiasm.